Good morning and welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Delgado Rant. I'm back at it again. I do apologize. We did have a episode yesterday, but for whatever reason, my iPhone decided to corrupt the video, the audio, and all that type of stuff. So I'm actually doing yesterday's episode again because it's super impactful. It's on habits. So if you want to know, if you want a quick, easy hack to eliminate bad habits and add on good habits, stay tuned. We're going to change your world. We're going to give you secrets to your mind and hacking your mind and being able to control everything you do. It's going to be great. So again, thank you for tuning in. Indestructible Me, that's me. Becoming indestructible together, changing the world. 2022 is the year we're quitting our bullshit out in America, and we're going to do it with indestructible. We're going to build our bodies up. Mind, body, soul, health, all areas. We're going to be indestructible to the noise, the toxic, polluted noise and bullshit that's in this world. So we can thrive once again. That's what we're intended to do. Humans were intended to thrive. I just launched a website. You can go there. I have merchandise there. I have a little bit more about myself. I'll be posting blogs on there as well. And all my other social media links are going to be on there. Podcast links. A bunch of stuff. So it's going to be a lot of great things. So keep that on your radar. Be on the lookout. Indestructibleme.com, and it's a little different from my social media handles because there's an I instead of just Indestructible Me. So those of you that are watching, you can see it clearly, and if you're not watching and you're just listening, just make sure you put the I in the beginning to get to the website. All right, so habits. Quick Google search definition is a settled tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. And I underline that it's hard to give up twice, emphasizing the fact that it's hard to give up. So what you need to know is that your brain essentially tries to clean up the basis of ideally a habit. The underlying basis of a habit is this idea of called autosuggestion, your subconscious mind. You know, you see it everywhere in the world from these professionals, these mind hackers. Ideally, your brain is very sophisticated. It's the most sophisticated computer on this planet. We can't even actually replicate it with technology that we have today. It just your body is extremely sophisticated, and it's beyond the reach of mental capacity for ourselves right now. We are still learning about the human mind, how the body works, and this, that, and the other. But your brain tries to free up bandwidth in your body, your cognitive function, your thoughts, processing information. Bandwidth, I mean, it's just like your internet, right? So you get an internet at your home and you're using it up with multiple devices, doing a bunch of stuff. You're watching a bunch of videos on different devices, and you're constantly streaming, and there's so many things connected to that one internet. That's essentially what's going on in your brain. And your thoughts is that you have all this energy that your brain is trying to run multiple systems in your body, and on top of that, you're trying to have thoughts, be able to have conversations, think and act, and all that fun stuff. So your brain tries to eliminate as much thought as possible so it can free up and concentrate on the things that it thinks it is the most important thing. So you need to understand the fact that you have the ability to tell your brain what to focus on. You know, I write my goals down every day. Hopefully you're doing the same. And that's telling my brain what to focus on. So throughout the day, I'm going to be constantly, subconsciously, looking for things that are important to me. Your brain, you need to literally tell yourself what is important to you. That's why affirmations work. That's why motivational speaking works. It's because you're getting you're getting a constant reassurance of something that is important to you. So as a habit, if you do something, if you practice, if you have a tendency of doing something, your brain will essentially compress that into a file, like a zip file, again, on a computer. I'm doing a lot of computer analogies because that's exactly what happens in your brain. Your brain condenses that into a file and stores that. So when next time you do that activity, it requires less energy and less thought, so it can focus on other things that are more important. This is the phenomenon with the shower thought effect. She has really funny shower thoughts, but this is the phenomenon. You're in the shower, you're doing something that you do hopefully every day, maybe twice a day, but you're doing something that you've done at least consistently in the past. You probably don't even have any thought or remember what part of the body you wash first. It just comes natural. Once you turn on that faucet and get into that shower, it's literally the same thing over. You know, sometimes you might just stand there and to take in the energy, the steam and all that. But for the most part, you're gonna just function as normal. You're gonna do the exact same routine as you do every single day. And that is a habit. So your body and your brain essentially is not going to put any thought into what you're doing. And that allows your brain to be open for creative thinking, all this other stuff. Same thing with tying your shoe. If you're tying your shoe, you probably don't even remember what lace goes on top of the other first. It's because it's a habit. It's a zip file. Once you have this idea of needing to go outside and needing to put shoes on, instantly your brain pulls out the zip folder, this file, unpacks it. You do the information in that folder, and it's a habit. It's a routine, so you can be free to think about other stuff. Just to take that into consideration for the rest of today. Things that you are doing on a consistent basis that you're probably not even thinking about. Maybe you're going out for a smoke. Maybe you're just eating, snacking throughout the day. Maybe you're saying a particular statement after something happens every single time. Or whatever it may be. Every time you get up, you make a noise, you grunt, or whatever. If that activity or that habit is long enough, you usually have some creative thought during that. This is when you are thinking at a higher level, usually. And it's because you're reducing that bandwidth. Your brain is freed up from clutter. So that's the power of habit. So I'm going to give you three simple steps. 3 simple steps to be able to break down any habit. So this will allow you to eliminate bad habits and replace them with good habits. Because if you know how to create a habit, you will know and break down bad habits and eliminate them and replace them with good habits. Simple as that, right? It's pretty easy. It's going to take some hard work, and it's going to take some practice from you each and every day. So this is the 3 easy steps to hack a habit: eliminating or adding. Here we go. First step of a habit is a trigger. You got a response. There's something in your environment, something that's happening that's causing you to respond. Whether it is something that's happening and you have to say something or do something. That's what she said. That's a habit. Someone says something that is can be turned into some sexual joke. That's what she said. That's going to be a habit. So there's going to be a response, a trigger, an alarm, essentially in your brain in order for you to take out that zip file. You wake up in the morning, you're probably hitting that snooze button. The alarm goes off, that's the trigger. You hit the snooze button. That goes us to the second step. The second step of that habit is the routine, which is actually going to be the habit itself. It's going to be the activity. So you turning on the faucet, you waking up in the morning, you need to get ready for work. So wherever your routine is in your morning activity, once you get done with one activity, that's the trigger. I gotta shower. Turn on the faucet, and then you complete the routine. The routine is actually showering. So the alarm goes off, you hit snooze. That's the habit. And the reward, which is the third final step of a habit, is reward. So simple aspect, alarm goes off. That's the trigger. I hit the snooze button. That's the routine. And the reward is that I get to cuddle or cozy up into bed for an extra 5 minutes. There you have it. So you have a trigger, you have this routine, the actual habit, and then you have a reward. Just like a dog, you give a treat when they do something good. It's as simple as that. That's exactly how we train dogs. It's exactly how our brains work. A dog needs to go to the bathroom, so they know, they ring bells or they alert you, trigger. They go out to the bathroom outside. That's the routine. They come back in, they get a treat, they get a reward. Simple as that. That's how you literally train your body. So if you have bad habits, this breakdown of bad habit or any habit. If you have any habit, regardless of, maybe it's not an actual bad habit, it's just a habit that you want to change. Let's say you're working out at night and you want to work out in the morning. So you actually have a good habit, but you just want to change and restructure your day. So it's better organized or more efficient, however it may be. So you have to figure out what this trigger is in the beginning. This response. Maybe it's smoking a cigarette. And this is going to take some time because you're going to have to get to the root cause of the trigger. There's so many aspects in our life that we don't do any root cause analysis of why something's happening or what's going on. You know, we paintbrush stroke and we attack the symptom like, oh yeah, this is it. This is the reason why. And we don't deep dive and go in through the nitty gritty and figure out why we're actually doing something or why something actually is happening. You could, if smoking, right? It could be an example. You could be high anxious person. So it's stress. That's the reason why you're smoking. Or it could just be social. It's just a habit that you created because other people smoke and you want to go outside, get some fresh air, and hang out with people. And that's just a social act. Same thing with drinking. Every time you want to go out and party, it could be a couple of different things. It could be your addiction to the actual substance. That's what you have to figure out. So that means, are you doing it with other people and just yourself? Are you doing it by yourself? Are you doing it mixed? Or people drink sometimes just because they're want to be social. So you have to come up to the reason, the actual, the end result, the actual real reason why you're doing what's the trigger, the response. So take notes. Every single time you have an urge to do this routine, stop. Take note. Write down exactly what you're feeling at that exact time. Every single time. Do that for a day. Do that for a few days. Do it for a week, even. Do it for a full week, and then study about all the emotions that you have every time this response comes up into your body, every time that there's an urge. If you want to change your eating habits, you want something sweet, boom. You take out your phone on your notepad. I was emotional. I was stressed. I was bored. I was just craving. I was on my way home from work, and I didn't want to make food at home. I didn't have groceries. I'm stressed out. I'm tired. I don't have food already prepared. And this is convenient. So you got to figure that out, root cause. So you got to do that daily in the beginning. Or maybe you automatically just know. I don't have food at home. I worked a hard day, and McDonald's is on the way home. So it's just easy for me to hit up, get a couple Big Macs in me, and then I go home and I don't have to worry. I don't have to do another work. I don't have to do more work, and that's prepare food. So that's the trigger. That's the response. That's the reason why you have this habit, whether it's bad or good. So you, on the flip side, you also know how to start a good habit. So if you want to implement anything, you got to create a trigger. So instead of hitting the snooze button on the alarm when it goes off, you can have the alarm away from you. And like for me, I have my phone set up on a selfie stick, and the alarm goes off and the light just illuminates the whole entire room. And so I have to get up to walk to turn it off, and I have a bottle of water. Chug that. That has the same effects as caffeine if you drink 12 to 16 ounces of water when you first wake up. So, boom. So I do that every day, and that creates a new habit. The trigger, the alarm going off, I have to get up and walk. I have to grab the bottle of water is right there. It's right there. So that's the routine. And then that keeps me up. And that will prevent me from going back to bed because I'm going to have to urinate. So no matter what, like that's going to happen. And then the reward is that I'm waking up, I'm more productive, I'm productive throughout the day, I have more energy, I'm not wasting time, I'm more fulfilled, I'm happy about things I'm accomplishing. Tons of rewards other than just laying in bed, being comfortable. But you could do that on a couple of things. You know you need to exercise, but you wake up late, so you don't have time to do it in the morning, and then you always convince yourself to eliminate the positive habits later in the day. Again, it's all with willpower. You're eliminating things throughout the day with the stress that's adding on to your life. And I gotta do actually an episode on willpower. Let me just take a note. That I talked about willpower. It's a bucket every morning that you're waking up with, and that's being eliminated throughout the day with distresses, how stressful events are happening into your body. So if you want to start exercising and you don't do it in the morning, most likely you're going to eliminate that task off your schedule because your willpower is depleted. You're not going to have mental strength to actually do it. But let's say you get home, you put your keys on the counter. You put your workout equipment or your clothes somewhere. Maybe you bring your workout clothes with you to work. And the trigger is, hey, I'm leaving work. I got to go to the gym. I got to work out before I get home. Then the reward is obviously life, increasing life. But with the bad stuff, when you get the trigger, you do the bad routine, then you get the reward. You got to break that down into why it's happening. If you figure out the trigger, then you can manipulate the habit and put a different behavior into that. If you are eating because you're bored, boom, trigger of boredom, you do something else that is going to entertain you, hopefully in a positive way. You're on social media, you pull out your phone to scroll through social media because you're bored. That happens to all of us. You get bored, you scroll through social media. So the trigger of boredom, you do something else. You counteract that. You become more productive. Maybe you do more work. Maybe you increase the output of work, and that increases your income, so you can afford to be bored more often. Or let's say you do go on social media, but you do it in a positive way. You learn. You create a business. You're a support group. You start a support group. You support others because other people are using it for addictions and problems and issues. So you got to find out that trigger, and then if it's a bad behavior, you got to replace that bad behavior with a good behavior or eliminate it completely. Which, if you're having a response to do something, it's most likely that's not going to go away. Whether it's boredom, you're hungry. We could get rid of cravings and hunger all day long. I could teach you how to do that with fasting and keto, because the body is naturally not supposed to be hungry all the time or crave that bullshit. But another time, another story. You can follow me on Indestructible Me. I will talk about that in length. I talk about how easy, or not how easy, but how we can manipulate our hunger and appetite, and it's natural. Our bodies are naturally not supposed to be hungry, but that was the biggest thing with me. I work a lot, and eating is convenient, can be convenient. And if it's not set up in, if I don't meal prep and carry that along, and maybe sometimes I'm not around a microwave to heat things up or whatever, or I don't have utensils, there's just a lot of BS to go along with it. So I fell into a lifestyle, keto and fasting, which gave me control back of my life. So the trigger is, I don't have a trigger because I'm not hungry. I eliminated this lifestyle eliminates hunger and cravings. Makes it easy. That's all it is. So this all information pretty much came from a book called Power of Habit. And they actually go through multiple chapters of different companies. And this is the great thing about when you're actually expanding your education and learning. So you actually understand a lot of things that are happening in this world. And you can actually see when people are being genuine, trying to help you, and trying to actually resolve or fix an issue instead of just trying to cram a product down your throat. And so, I understand the sales cycles. I understand marketing that way because I've studied it. I've learned it. And this actual book goes in detail about, obviously, habits, but they talk about marketing. And they bring up a couple companies that implemented this theory of habit, these 3 steps of creating and using habit to their advantage. One of those companies is Febreze. So they talked about the fact that Febreze, when it originally came out, their main selling point was that it was the odor eliminator. So they actually wanted to find someone. So they found someone that she was struggling dating because she worked with skunks or something like that. Something in that field. And she couldn't get rid of the smell, of the stench of working with animals all day. She brought it home with her, no matter how much she showered or cleaned and tried different products. The smell, she didn't smell it because she was so used to it, but everyone else could smell it. So they gave her Febreze. 1 month later, the smell was gone. It actually worked. The product worked really well. But what they noticed is that she wasn't a recurring customer because the product actually worked too well. The orders were eliminated and it was gone. So they were like, well, that's not going to be a profitable company. We sell one bottle for $5, and that customer doesn't come back to us until like another 9 to 12 months. It's a kind of a terrible company. Well, what's the point? We need customers to come back like every week. We need recurring business. We need repeat business. 80% of your business is probably 20% of your customers. That's a restaurant actual statistic. But they're just like, we got to change. How do we change that? And what they came to the realization is with the idea of this habit, these 3 steps: trigger, routine, reward. They're like, we are the reward portion of cleaning. And now if you actually look at all their advertisements, all their cleaning, and they're not the only ones, whatever it may be, Glade, all those cleaning, smell good fabrics and all that jazz. The marketing scheme, how they position their advertisements, is that the ending of cleaning, that fresh scent, that great smell, that satisfaction of getting things clean and organized. So they completely reworked how they went out into the public, communicated their product, advertised, marketed their product, because they were fixated on fixing an issue, which it does. I mean, Febreze does smell great, and it takes away some of the odor, but to me, I mean, it kind of mixes, so it gets that nasty smell and fragrance, which is not the best. But Febreze has been out for I don't know how long, and they're gonna continue to be out for a really long time. And they market the fact that it's the reward. It's someone walking into the room, spraying, and that nice, clean, fresh scent, that odor elimination, but it's the satisfaction at the end. So they market themselves as the reward of cleaning. It's great. It's remarkable on how just this simple process is actually making companies multi-billion, trillion dollars a year. It's crazy. But you can do the same thing. If you want positive change in your life, you got to have a trigger, got to have a reward, or you got to have a routine, and then you got to have a reward. Most of us are having triggers. You're having triggers throughout your whole entire day. You just got to create a positive routine with those triggers. Whatever it may be. You're hungry, maybe you go for a walk. Every time you're hungry, you go for a walk. I guarantee you, especially if you're trying to lose weight and get healthier, once you start walking, that hunger will subside. Guaranteed. Because most of the hunger that we're feeling is not actually real. And it might be tough for the first couple of days doing that, but your body's gonna adapt, and you're gonna start to regulate hormones, hunger hormones, and you'll understand that those hunger pains is not actually real. If you want to exercise, again, wake up earlier. Don't hit the snooze button. Put the alarm away from you, so when you wake up, The trigger is you walking up. Maybe the bottle of water's on the phone. So you have to pick up the bottle of water, chug it before you turn off the alarm. It's you can do it in a completely, however it works for you. But what you need to understand is 3 simple steps. Trigger, routine, reward. Trigger, routine, reward. Simple as that. And you can remanufacture your whole entire day so it works for you, has your mind work for you instead of it controlling you. And that's what these simple steps actually allow you to do. Take back control of your life, baby. 2022 is the year we quit our bullshit. Quit the bad behaviors. Quit the bad bullshit in your life and take back control. Well, this is Joe Delgado, Indestructible Me. I hope this helps. I hope the best for you. Become indestructible. Every day, that's an everyday activity, everyday focus is becoming indestructible to the pollution, the toxic bullshit in this world. Let's change the world. I need your help. I can't do this alone. Thank you for listening. Subscribe and follow so you always stay up to date. And always be great.